going out, you knew that there's a high probability that you're going to get blown up, take small arms fire, or if you're in the potato factory, that you're going to take mortar rounds. Hey, welcome back to Uncivilized Rebirth, a place where I want to share my life lessons that I've learned and hopefully help you on your path to healing. I know I'm not the only one, but about the past decade was spent healing from the first 30 years of my life, especially the first 18 years of my life. But in doing that, I've discovered who I truly am, discovered my purpose, and I've learned so many lessons that I want to share with other people that may be younger than me, that are on the life path that I kind of had, because we don't always get born into a family that loves us. And when that happens, you have a rocky base to work off of. It's not really a base at all. It's basically just brokenness. Because when you want to build a house, you have to have a really good foundation. But if that foundation is just garbage, then you can't build anything on top of that. So most of my life was trying to build on top of garbage. And I had to realize, how do I dig in and how do I build myself to be solid, to endure all these different things that life throws at me? And I had to do a really deep dive on who I wanted to be. And that started back in 2022, like the true beginning of change for me. But today I want to talk about mindset. The reason I want to talk about mindset is I believe in my heart that I just passed a massive test in life that tested whether or not I have truly changed to be on the path to be the man that I want to be, that I've chosen to be, which is a solid man with a solid foundation. And that kind of segues into mindset. I had to learn about mindset. What was that? Like, how did I apply it? I had heard it many times, but finally I got to the point where I figured out what mindset was. I was able to apply it. So about 7 months ago, roughly, let's go back 4 years ago. 4 years ago, my wife decided that she wanted to leave. So she hired a lawyer, filed paperwork. There was a bunch of false claims, and they took away the kids. Well, about 8 months later, I was able to get them back because everything that was claimed was false. So things start going well, but my life was totally destroyed. I had to sell a house. I wasn't a dad really anymore. I only had him part-time every other weekend and during the week because the mother got most of the custody, which is just a horrible situation for kids. Like, people don't really think through like how much it hurts kids to do that. So my life was utterly destroyed by this person through legal means. And I had to start over completely. I had been a full-time stay-at-home dad. I had been retired from the military. And so this is what I did. I had no career. And then everything gone. The kids, the house, my own family turned against me. They were helping her, encouraging her. And basically that was because they had treated me so horrible as a child, and my memories had come back from my childhood. But I still have a lot of it blocked out, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. And so any way that they could manipulate into my life to hurt me, they took that opportunity to do that. So things were just destroyed, but I had to set goals. I had to start on a path. So I chose, I'm going to go to college. I started a company that didn't work out, but it was a great learning experience. And so I continued in college, stayed on that path. Things got super crazy. In late 2022, I went through a spiritual awakening. That was wild. That's That's like a whole book in and of itself. So when you go through a spiritual awakening, it's chaos. It's straight up chaos because the veil is lifted and you see the world for what it is. And it's horror, basically. And people from the outside looking in see this as just crazy instability versus stepping in and be like, hey man, how you doing? They're like, oh, they're crazy. You'll say, no, it's not crazy. There is a veil that separates our dimension from the spiritual dimension. And when it is lifted for a person, it is chaos. You're thrown into a meat grinder. So I go through that and people are observing that. And I finally get to the point where I feel like life is starting to plateau. And as in like I've got my bearing, and I'm pacing myself and I'm making progress. So about 8 months ago, somewhere in there, give or take a little bit of time, the ex-wife files again to take the kids away, saying that I am delusional. But then also, I had made a firework in a red Solo cup with my son. And he went to school and told a kid at school, and he used the word B-O-M-B. The school freaked out. It was a 2-ounce red Solo cup. Like, we were having fun. I was sitting there, we were making this together. And this was warped and twisted into it, making me look like I was a terrorist. And I was treated as such for a long period of time, for the better part of 7 months. So I'm about to get into the test that I was put in to test whether or not I am who I am. And I'm going to have this mindset and be steadfast. So a task force shows up to my house of about 7 F-150s. They had a bomb squad. They had a local sheriff. There might have been a representative from a sheriff department. There were several detectives that identified themselves and a police chief. They came in my house. I let them in. Had nothing to hide. I showed them what I made and they took it. Well, I handed it to them. I asked for a receipt for the property, but they wouldn't do that. About a week later, there was paperwork filed. All they did was say that I was making bombs. And so they took the kids away. And this is a travesty. Like, I was a full-time stay-at-home dad 4 years ago. So all of a sudden, she took the kids away. And for months, I couldn't see them. And they were treating me like I was a dangerous veteran, like extremely dangerous. I could only see my kids at this supervised visitation place. And that happened again this year. I went to this place and I could only see my kids under supervised. Like, this lady's following me around taking notes as if like I am this danger to society. When in reality, I am a protector and I am a defender. I spent my early 20s, most of my 20s, fighting for this country and serving this country selflessly. And I would have done it for free. They did not have to pay me because it was awesome and it filled this void in my heart wanting to serve. So they filed that paperwork. The police left and they didn't do anything because I did nothing wrong. But the courts did not get all that information. All they got was that I was making bombs and that I was dangerous, so they took the kids. Well, this was a blow, like a huge blow, because my birth family, they always try to hurt me. Like, that is their goal in life. And they did it when I was growing up. And so I didn't have a dad to call. I didn't have a mom to call. I didn't have a brother to call to be like, hey man, how's it going? And my list of friends was down very, very low. Very short number. And I realized, like, I have to depend on the Creator, have to depend on myself, and I have to stay steadfast through this, because a lot of times when you are treated like a criminal for a long period of time, you can start feeling that role and acting that way. And so I had to daily remind myself that I am not a criminal. I am a defender of these people, and they are falsely accusing me. So the police start stalking me or following me, harassing me every time I left my house. Every time in this whole county, wherever I'd go, there would be unmarked SUVs following me. There'd be one in front of me, one behind me sometimes. There'd be local police departments. They would fly up on me. They'd be sitting there waiting, then turn out and follow me. They'd be sitting by my house, right, the turn for my house, and right when I turn in, they would pull away. They were overtly letting me know that they were smothering and covering me and watching me. And I think anybody over the course of months and months would snap. But I didn't. I stayed focused. I was like, I'm in college. I'm going to graduate this year. And my kids need me to be solid on the other end of this, because this is garbage what they're putting me through. This is a broke system. They have lied about me, and they have told a large number of people, and I am being treated like a terrorist, like a threat to these people, when I am a defender. And I'm proud of that. Very proud of that. So this goes on day after day after day for months. And every day I was going to the gym. I would make a plan for the day. It's like, go to the gym, do schoolwork, clean the house, do laundry, make the bed, all that stuff. It's like I wrote it down every night. I was like, I'm going to do this every day. I don't care how much they harass me every day, because I know for a fact these are lies and this is garbage. So for me, it was like the ultimate test. And I realized that right out the gate. I was like, I am being tested to see if these changes I've made from 2022 through 2023 to early 2024 are going to stick. And if this is truly who I am. Because the old me would have freaked out. The old me would have gotten mad. The old me would have just lashed out and went into combat mode, because I've been in combat before. So it's like, when you get this amount of pressure, it's like, I feel like I should fight back. But I got smart. I started recording them. I started videotaping them. And then I started realizing that everything they're doing is based on lies, first off. And then second off, the fact that they have rules they have to follow. They never came to my house again. They had nothing to arrest me on. They never pulled me over a single time, but they ceaselessly harassed me. Last night, I pull into my driveway, and there was a local police guy that just flew up on my tail right in front of my house, yet again. And these guys are crooked, and I will say that they are crooked. One time I filed a police report with them, and they lied on that report and covered up something somebody did that I reported. So it's like, they flew up on me last night yet again. I was like, y'all are crooked. Just because you have a badge doesn't mean that you are in the right. Because I learned through this whole situation that the legal system or a law does not mean right or wrong. It means like a rule or a regulation that you can manipulate or use to your advantage and somebody else's disadvantage. So through this, I continued my discipline. I stayed focused and I didn't quit. And because I just had to I realized I have to put one foot in front of the other if I want to make it through this. And their goal is to have me lash out and blow up. And if I, at any point in time, had lashed out at those police for harassing me, because basically they had no basis for what they did, but they had to double down on their huge mistake of coming to my house with a task force and act like I was still this huge threat and harass me. So I even had out-of-state tags that were blue tags, blacked out SUVs that would follow me on the interstate. Multiple times. It got so old. But I never broke. I didn't break because I have this vision set in my mind that I know where I'm going, what I'm supposed to do. And they can't break me. That's the thing, they can't break me. And so with mindset, all of this is like, I had the mindset of every day, I'm going to do the same thing over and over because I know who I am. And it doesn't matter what they do externally. I even dipped back into my time in Iraq. And we were in Yusufia for like 6 months in 2005. And every day going out, you knew that there's a high probability that you're going to get blown up, take small arms fire, or if you're in the potato factory, that you're going to take mortar rounds. That's just the way life was every day, no break. And so what I did, I was like, I'm Turret Paul. And that was a mindset I had of like, I'm pretending that I am in a combat zone, but they are not allowed to shoot at me. They can only pull up and harass me. And then when I got inside their heads, I realized that they had no power whatsoever. No power. Their only power was driving around this taxpayer-funded vehicle with taxpayer-funded equipment, and it's all surrounding them to make them feel tough. And I carried a stick in my car. I don't have guns. I have a BB gun. I digress. Ugh. But I have a stick in my car. But these were just men, and they have blacked out windows, so it's like I can't see your eyes, and you're wearing sunglasses usually if I do see you outside your vehicle. So obviously you don't want me to see your eyes, so you don't want me looking at your soul. So you have to hide behind these blacked out windows, and you have to hide behind the taxpayer dollars to feel like you're a big bad boy flying up on me. And so once I got inside their mind, I was like, wait a second, I have all the power here, because their goal is to harass me. But my mindset was unbreakable, and it is unbreakable. So every day I would go to the gym, and every day there was a police officer or some vehicle that was flying up on me or pulling up behind me, just harassing me. But meanwhile, this is also while I'm fighting a legal battle with the ex-wife just to be a dad for my kids. Like at bare minimum, I want to be a dad for my kids because I don't want my kids have to spend half their life repairing themselves from the traumas of their childhood. That's what my life was. And I know for a fact that a split home jacks a kid up. That people are like, oh, they're resilient. But I want to be a dad. So this whole time, I'm fighting battles on several fronts. But it turned into, I guess, maybe asymmetrical warfare. Like, I must outsmart them. And when I say outsmart them, I'm not out to trick them or manipulate them. I'm out to accomplish my goals and my mission that I have, and I will not quit, I will not give up, and I will not surrender. That's the bottom line. And so when I had that mindset and I was locked in, it was like, this is set in stone. You may try all you want. The only way you win is killing me. And that is it. And after all the things I've went through in my life, I really doubt they can kill me. And I don't mean that arrogantly as in like they're going to shoot me and the bullets bounce off. But I've been in a wheelchair before. I used to have MS. I was in combat for multiple tours. Well, one tour was majorly combat, but I spent a bunch of tours over there and not even a scratch on me. Like I was in dangerous situations. I did stupid shit. And one time I took a dump by an IED that was live. And then EOD came out and blew it up. Like I did stupid stuff, but I made it through. So I was like, if I can do all that, these little police are not going to be that big of a deal. So I'm going to wrap this up with mindset. I passed a big test this year. I don't have the passing grade yet, but D's get degrees. But if I could share anything, it would be have a routine you do every day, no matter what. No matter if you have a headache, no matter if you're sick, no matter if you're throwing up, no matter if people are giving you crap or harassing you, you get up, make your bed, wash your face, drink water, take vitamins, go work out, and find something that you work on every day that builds something. Because if you want to build a pyramid by yourself and you only have bricks, guess what? You can do it. You just take one brick, and if you only put one brick over there every day, but you did it every single day, at the end of 10 years, you'd have a lot. You won't see anything after like 6 months, really, of like one brick a day. But after 10 years, holy crap. So I realized like I must be building every single day. And in doing that, I was building these neural pathways in my brain and building basically a new mindset from the old me to the new me. Okay, I'm going to end this like I always say, like, I don't know how to end videos very well. I hope that my story shared to you is encouragement that whatever you're going through, it's like David Goggins says, like, they want to take up headspace in your mind. And that's the way they get to you, by getting in your mind and messing with you. But if you can keep them out of your mind and stay on your path, you're undefeatable, basically. You are undefeatable because, not to be rude, but I have found in the civilian world, it's a much different level of discipline and a much different level of competition. And they fight dirty. They won't face you face to face at all, but they will do every little thing they can do behind closed doors to mess with you. But when it comes down to it, it's like warrior versus not warrior. It's like, okay. But that's not to be arrogant. Okay, so I want to wrap this video up. I'm going to try again. I hope you got encouragement out of this. Focus on your daily routine. And then what you need to do is be building something that's going to be in the future every day. Even if it's the tiniest thing, every day you work on it. Okay, Roadhouse, spiritual hard.